Hello, welcome once again to the VE Voidcast. My name is Rick. I'm here with Devin.
Sup, nerd?
And today we have a very special guest. We have Nasty Nate here to go over some of the topics with us. Nasty Nate the Kid.
Hello, everyone.
Nate's here. It's episode 6. We're ready to go.
Nate, introduce yourself a little bit for us.
Sure.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been Rick's best friend since kindergarten.
That's entirely false. We're acquaintances at best.
Well, I think we're best friends. So that's beside the point.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how you got on this podcast. I'm pretty sure you sucked Rick off. Is what I'm thinking, but I can't know for sure.
That is a base requirement for guests to get on the show.
I will neither confirm nor deny this, but I'm just going to say we'll leave it there. Yeah, so I am a Street Fighter fan. Rick has never once beaten me in Street Fighter V.
This is again not true.
Actually, it is, because you have not beaten me in Street Fighter V.
I don't think, because you really haven't played enough.
Because I haven't played Nate in Street Fighter V. We're going to get into that. We'll get into why I haven't played Nate yet, because this is the Street Fighter V First Impressions episode. We're going to be talking about what we think so far. I've put in, I don't know, maybe 10 hours into the game since it came out.
I put in about 5.
Nate put in his bare minimum 3 hours required to get on the podcast.
3:45, thank you. 3:45.
Jesus Christ.
I almost got to the 4th hour. I just had school and other things to take care of.
Jesus Christ. Well, we're
podcast comes before school and everything else.
Everyone knows that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sometimes I starve myself.
We have 4 followers. And they are
I'm
looking for a show.
Nate,
I'm one of those followers.
That's true. One of them
not
is
a
you.
co-host, but this is pretty much how God felt when man created religion. That's how we feel right now.
That's how we feel.
4 followers.
We are gods. We are radio, internet gods.
Yeah. So, you need to buckle up and get ready for a show.
Strap in, because we're going.
I'm excited.
We're going hard.
It's gonna be good.
So first, we have, of course, the news section that we're gonna get into.
We're gonna dive right in, ladies and gentlemen.
We're gonna get into the news.
Splish splash, we're diving.
Oh, I regret saying dive in. I regret those few episodes ago. But first up, we have Fallout 4 DLC revealed.
Yeah. So Bethesda posted on their website details for some of the DLC coming out.
A lot more information than I was expecting to actually get.
Yeah, I thought we would be waiting till E3 before we heard anything. So I'm pleased that this happened.
Even I heard about this DLC announcement coming before it actually did come out. I was expecting like a little taste, a little bit of like their first DLC package. But they actually gave us the first 3 DLCs.
Yep.
The one coming out in May, Far Harbor, looks pretty insane.
That one, so that's like the main DLC that's going to have actual story content.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 prior to it, Automatron?
Automatron.
Oh, awkward. I don't English, I guess. And Wasteland Workshop are like additions to the Wasteland to like improve what's already there.
Mm-hmm.
And give you a little something.
The base building mechanics, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. And making some robot companions. But Far Harbor, that's the real beans right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, they said that for Far Harbor, this is the biggest DLC or add-on that they've ever created. Like, for as far as downloadable content goes. Which is interesting because they also made, of course, the best DLC of all time, which is Elder Scrolls 4: The Shivering Isles. And that map was gigantic.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited.
I was made aware of maybe like a semantics issue there. Back when Shivering Isles came out, it was considered an expansion pack. Yeah. That was back when those were a thing. So they could pull some semantic stuff and say, well, Shivering Isles was an expansion pack, so this is actually smaller than Shivering Isles still. Because besides Shivering Isles, their next biggest would have probably been Point Lookout, I would think.
Yeah.
And Point Lookout wasn't that big. It was a
No.
pretty good size, but it was no Shivering Isles.
Yeah, that was $10 DLC back then, wasn't it? It was pretty good for $10.
Oh yeah, for $10 certainly.
But yeah, I see what you mean now in the semantics.
But
I did not consider that because I'm a naive little boy.
For $25, if we get another Point Lookout, I will not be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, here's the issue, Rick. When I went to GameStop for the midnight release, which was like a 9 o'clock release, but my boy Dan suckered me into buying the season pass.
Right.
So I've already put in the money.
You've committed.
Unfortunately, I don't like buying season passes.
No.
But he asked me if I wanted it, and I'm like, okay.
Can't say no to Dan. Dan's a salesman.
He's a peach.
He's a salesman. But you're kind of getting a screaming deal, though, with that.
Yeah, so I paid $30, and you can still pay $30 right now, but come March, it's increasing to $50 for the season pass.
Increasing the price of the season pass to $50. That, to me, is insane.
It seems ridiculous because you've set the price for it. And with most games, the season pass is consistently $30.
Yeah, a $50 season pass is too much.
Yeah, but also these 3 DLC are not the only DLC coming in the pass, so we will get more. So we have to hope that Far Harbor is going to be worth it and that we'll get something meaty like that again.
That's the thing. Will we?
Yeah. So, I mean, at the $30 price point, I don't think it's too bad, but $50, that's really rough.
For $50, I would not buy it.
Yeah.
It's basically buying a whole nother game. And that's kind of what we have to expect out of the DLCs, because at that point you're spending almost $60 on the game on the DLCs, so you want to get that much content out of it.
Right.
And if you don't, you know the fans are going to be disappointed, and that's going to bring up a whole host of issues with Bethesda's reputability.
Yeah, the fans are already disappointed, if we're being honest.
Fallout 4.
Well, yeah. I mean, I am.
While I still enjoyed it because it's more Fallout, it's not what I had hoped they were going to do.
No. But, Far Harbor, the premise looks interesting. It's starring my boy Valentine.
Oh, Nick,
So
that is my companion right there.
Yeah, I like him, and so that'll be good. They're adding new weapons, it looks like. There's obviously another landmass.
Yeah.
So, it hopefully it's neat. The other 2 DLCs, honestly, I'm kind of lukewarm on, because Automatron is $10.
Yeah.
And for around that same price, we were getting things like Point Lookout and Mothership Zeta. Even Mothership Zeta, which kind of sucked, sounds like it had more content to it than what Automatron has to offer. So
yeah, if I was
go
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, with Automatron, it's like the way I look at it. When I played Skyrim, I modded the ever living crap out of it.
Right.
And I think about this now because some of the companions I had were modded, and they gave you the basically the same options that you're getting for this $10 that were free, provided by the community. And I don't know. I feel like for $10, it's not comparable, because I can go online and probably find a similar type of mod for free.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, you could take it though as Bethesda listening to their audience. Well, at least in the sense that they're looking at, say, like, this is one of the most downloaded mods, but you'd think that would make them say, let's include it in the game, not let's make it DLC and charge $10 for it.
Yeah.
The thing to do there would have been, we understand that this was a really popular mod, so we took that feature and put it into the game naturally, which is technically what they did, but behind a paywall, which is kind of, I don't like that too much. And Wasteland Workshop just kind of looks silly. Yeah, I don't think I would even buy that one.
Yeah, to me, they feel like kind of filler, that just because you bought a season pass, they need to give you content.
They give you stuff, right.
Because you want story content, but you bought a season pass, so here's some other stuff to kind of make it feel worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to give you a story content each time anymore.
Yeah, now that I'm actually like seeing like the prices and like what Far Harbor claims to be for the price that it is, their DLC is not impressing me as much as like Fallout 3's DLC or Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, the New Vegas DLC, I love.
Fantastic. Yeah. I forget the name of it. The brain one. What's that one?
The Big Empty.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I don't remember what it's called either.
No, I'm spacing on it, but that one had good stuff going on in it. It had new pretty much it was the exact same thing as Far Harbor, just on a smaller scale.
Yep.
Well, I'm assuming on a smaller scale, because if Far Harbor isn't fucking gigantic, it's not worth $25.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to keep Far Harbor. They'll show off. No,
Comes out before it comes out in May.
Yeah.
So I hope they show it off a little bit. I'd like to see what they're going for with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping for the story of the DLCs were always kind of to me, but the atmosphere a lot of them created was really great. Like Point Lookout had great atmosphere.
Yeah, because it was able to take you to somewhere else in the world that you wanted to see and give you a little taste of it.
Yeah, they built that world really well, even though the whole getting pieces of your brain picked out and all that stuff was kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they can nail the atmosphere on it, if nothing else. So yeah, Fallout 4 DLC, exciting stuff.
It's coming.
Well, 1 out of 3 is exciting. That's not bad, I guess.
Well, sure.
Next we have Mass Effect Andromeda. The lead writer has left to go work at Bungie. His name is Chris Schlerf. And Devin, you brought up something interesting when you said that when I asked why this matters, and you said that it's because the game might be written.
Yeah, so
by now.
We're hoping that Mass Effect comes out as a fall game, which would mean the story should be done then. And so he's a free agent after that point, and that's may have been why he left to go work at Bungie.
And he doesn't seem to be leaving on bad terms.
Yeah.
From what we can tell, the tweets say things like, "Sincerely one of the best experiences of my career. I'm incredibly grateful to have worked with such talented and wonderful human beings." So,
yeah.
And then he says Mass Effect Andromeda is really going to blow people away.
Yeah, so I think the writing's done for the most part. Maybe there's a few things they're cleaning up, but his job's done, and so he's working most likely to go to Destiny 2.
Yep, that's what I would think. Interesting little tidbit, though. Chris Schlerf was the lead writer for Halo 4.
Yeah,
so
that's concerning.
Don't expect much out of Andromeda story-wise.
Halo 4 was garbage.
Halo 4's story left quite a bit to be desired. Do we know what else he's written? Chris Schlerf?
I couldn't really find anything.
Nothing? Maybe that was his first lead project then.
I think so. I didn't really dig super deep, but yeah, Halo 4 was probably his first lead, and he probably worked on other stuff as a smaller writer.
Well, either way, we can hope for the best with Andromeda, and if nothing else, this probably means that Andromeda is a fall 2016 game.
We can hope.
Which is what we want. Well, at least the story is written, and that's all squared away. So barring any technical setbacks, certainly.
Yeah, which happens a lot these days.
Happens regularly, but,
yep.
We can still hope.
Yeah. So, there we go on that.
We have I like this. This is good stuff. I'm into this.
Oh, yeah, this is cheeky.
There is a new Splatfest for the Wii U.
For Splatoon?
Yep. Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue are the teams.
So for people who don't know what Splatfest is, it's I think like every 2-week event, maybe once a month, it's been a while, where you pick a team and you get to wear a t-shirt that represents that team, and then the two teams kind of duke it out for points, and then at the end of the Splatfest you get items that allow you to respec your skills. And so they always pick these themes, and so this time for the Pokemon anniversary is Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue.
That's nice.
And I'm picking Pokemon Red.
That's not nice. Pokemon Blue. That's the team to pick.
To slaughter, because as Rick has seen firsthand, my Splatoon skills are nothing to laugh at.
I've seen it. He's good at Splatoon.
I saved our team from about to lose. It just came out of nowhere.
Out of all the games that you could have gotten esports ready for, though, I think you may have picked the wrong one. Nonetheless, he's good. He's good at Splatoon. He's very good at Splatoon.
Thank you, sir.
I, on the other hand, am not.
No, and you wanted me to play ranked, and I was like, on your internet? No, thank you.
The Maricopa internet, the dream.
Yeah, so that was a cheeky piece of news.
Yep. Last up, This is just another cheeky little one. The PS Vita has turned 4.
Yeah.
4 years old. February, well, 2 days ago it turned 4, February 15th.
Yep.
It's always so late.
Well, it's a once-a-week podcast, Nate. What do you want from us?
Accuracy, Rick. That's what I want.
We're
From
not,
the very beginning.
We're not making a podcast just to talk about the Vita turning 4.
Nate, our new segment and takes whatever we have, whatever's gone on during the week since the last
during
podcast.
the week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vita's 4 years old. It's still
Exciting.
dead. You know, it didn't make it past its toddler days.
I think one of the top tweets for it was like, yeah, here we go. Can you have a 4th anniversary if you died before your 2nd?
Jeez.
Because the Vita's
Brutal.
dead, Nate.
Brutal. The Vita is
Oh,
dead.
yeah. I mean, it never really took off. Like, where the PSP had its place and the DS had, those two kind of filled the niche for the while that was the handheld gaming. After the PS Vita came out, it was still the time of the DS. And it still is.
To be fair, the only reason the PSP had a place was because the firmware, you could hack it real easy and just put a bunch of torrented shit like movies and games and stuff on it.
Especially emulators to play Nintendo games.
Yeah, nobody bought the PSP to play PSP games. They bought it because
they're all
they
atrocious.
could get
Terrible.
a bunch of free
Except
shit.
for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
I liked Neopet Pet Adventures.
Was that a PSP game?
Yeah, that's actually not a joke. That was my first PSP game, and it was pretty dank. It was an action RPG based in the Neopet universe.
Oh, my gosh.
Rick, I don't never use that game and dank in the same sentence.
It was, dude, no, it was dank. I'm gonna look up Pet. I'm gonna see what Metacritic gave it real quick because I just
Probably
thought of this.
40.
IGN gave it a 6.9 out of 10, dude.
Wow.
That's not bad for a game based off of the Neopet.
It's almost
franchise.
Street Fighter 5.
It's the cutest RPG on the PSP.
Is that a quote?
Yeah.
Good.
It defies expectations.
Well,
So,
I guess when you think it's going to be utter garbage and it ends up being just garbage, it does defy your expectations.
but that was the only PSP game worth owning. Was Neopet Pet Adventures.
Yep. But for all you listeners out there, you know that us Voidcast boys are going to keep playing our Vita till we die.
I'll be supporting the Vita to the bitter end.
Yep.
No
so
matter
happy 4th birthday,
happy
Vita.
4th birthday Vita. No matter how many old ass indies that Geo throws at me, I'm still gonna lap them up.
I'm still going to play my visual novels.
I'm gonna play my VNs. Geo should start throwing VNs at me. To be honest,
He's never going to do that.
he's never gonna throw a VN at me.
I'm sure he thinks that entire genre is atrocious.
He's gonna pull the Vita out of his pocket, and he's gonna throw more indies from 2011 at
And
me.
he's going to pinpoint you in the crowd when we go to PSX and say, Rick, I made sure we never get a Vita visual novel again. Go kill yourself.
Why can't you just like my old indies like everyone else?
Oh, Geo.
2025 PSX. Geo comes out on stage, pulls out his Vita, and says, "We got Braid, lads. It's here.
It's finally here. You were all asking for it. We got Braid."
And at a discount, it's only $7 instead of the usual $10.
Oh, God.
Geo. Walking around the Vita in his pocket like he owns the place.
Jesus. Well, Rick, I think that wraps up the news, don't you?
Actually, I do have one thing, and it's not Dota
Nate.
2 related, so you don't have to edit it out.
Okay.
I promise.
All right.
I just got an email on this, and I'm gonna say this before I sign the non-disclosure
This
agreement.
cutting edge news?
Yeah, actually, it is.
Shit.
Paragon by Epic Games. It's a new MOBA that's coming out pretty soon, or in this year.
It's still a MOBA.
Yeah, it's a MOBA, but hold on, it's
I'll
actually
let it slide because it's not
it's-
Dota, but it's still a MOBA.
it's based on the Unreal Engine, and it actually looks pretty cool. Rick, you should go look at it because you might actually enjoy it somewhat.
Is there
Wow.
is there gameplay? Because I've seen Paragon. Like I saw their cinematic.
Oh
trailer.
yeah, no, there is gameplay out, and the actual live test begins Saturday, and I have an
really?
invite to it, the closed beta, and I'm actually really excited now. I just got the email.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing a closed beta.
So while we are doing
What
this
doesn't
podcast,
do a closed beta, Rick?
I am going to
fair
sign my non-disclosure agreement and agree not to video record or do anything else like that to it. So we are good there.
Now, Nate, here's the thing. Like every other MOBA that isn't League of Legends or Dota, it's probably going to die.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Guaranteed.
It's
but it's going to be fun for that first month where people play it.
Epic Games, is that still our boy Cliff?
No. Cliffy went off to make his own team, and he's making like a free-to-play shooter game.
See, I get them mixed up because Epic's doing their shooter thing, Cliffy's doing his shooter thing. Cliffy's thing is different, though, right? Isn't he doing a Quake style? That's what I think I read somewhere.
I think so.
He was doing something in the vein of Quake, which I'm excited for. That sounds cool. I'm less excited for the first-person Gun Boys MOBA.
Epic Games these days really just focuses on Unreal.
Call of
Their
Duty
games are not so.
Call of Duty MOBA Ops 2.
But, I mean, there's something to be said for them focusing on their engine. It gives other people developing games a way to do it without having to focus on the engine. Because Unreal Engine is
amazing. I love them making the Unreal Engine. Mm-hmm. It's just their games now.
Yeah.
Dicey.
Yeah, Paragon, I mean, unless you tell me that it's, like, out of this fucking world, I don't plan on ever playing a MOBA again. I gave a number of years to League of Legends. I gave an entire summer to Dota 2.
And there's a mistake. Enough. You gave the year to League and the summer to Dota. You should have flipped it.
I mean,
and you would have loved MOBAs.
I'd be in the same position as I am now.
I think that's
regretting a lot of wasted time.
I think that's a lie. Let's be honest. But we can move past it, and we'll stop talking about MOBAs now because I know you dislike them.
Yeah, well, MOBAs are for fucking
I will respect your decision here.
We appreciate you helping out the MOBA crowd that we have, giving them a little something because we're not giving it to
them.
We're not going to give it.
Basically,
the MOBA
I am the MOBA crowd that you have.
Yeah, well, if there's one other person out there, I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe they didn't know about the closed beta. If you guys are fucking nerds and want to play a MOBA, there's a closed beta for Paragon coming up. There you go.
I got the email like right as we started the news, and I was like, oh hey, this is cool. I could bring this up, and I'll actually sound smart for once.
Cutting edge.
Then you just like kind of chopped it off. And like, no, you're an idiot, Nate. Go shut up and sit in the corner again.
Nate.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
Nate broke the story. Good work, Nate.
I'll try.
MOBAs are still garbage, but you broke the story, so good work there.
Hey, I try. I try, Rick.
So that is the news then.
And just like that, boys, we're diving right out of the water and into the next segment.
We got the aquatic transitions have got to stop. The aquatic transitions cannot continue.
Rick, you could have let them die in silence, but the moment you said something, that is when they became a thing.
I think Devin, you got to come up with a different pun each time. Like not just diving in. We're going to.
Yeah, we're gonna get our toes wet.
Yeah.
We're gonna, we're gonna jump in, let our balls shrink because it's cold, something like that.
You're asking for a lot. I plan our podcasts. I can't be making up goofs and gags at the same time.
Get a balls thing in there.
I'll work on the balls.
But we are moving into the main topic. Well, one of the two main topics for today, which is our first impressions of Street Fighter V.
Yep, the game came out February 15th in North America.
And boy, we've been playing it.
Yeah, kind of.
We have been, when we can. When
we've been trying.
Capcom
Actually,
will let
I lied.
us.
February 16th, I'm a day off.
Yeah, 15th. I was like, I didn't think it'd been out for 2 days already.
Well, we played it on the 15th because we waited until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, technically we got it the 15th because of time zone differences. But
yeah, so February 16th. Sorry, listeners, I failed you yet again.
But what are we thinking? What are our thoughts? Let's before we talk about the obvious flaws, what are our thoughts on the game itself? The game itself.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
It's fun to play. It's smooth. It's I'm just enjoying it.
Smooth. because it's forced that way, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Suck me off, Nate.
Sorry, I being having a low-end computer, it's one of those things. I think it's fun. I mean, so far, I've really gotten into Nash and M. Bison. I love them. They're fun to play.
Bison is awesome.
He is. I do think some of the changes they made to his gameplay, or his style of play, are a little bit weird, but I like it, and it's a refresh on it.
Are you salty there's no Big Daddy Bison Dash?
Yeah, that was my favorite move.
I know it was your favorite move because all you ever used when you played Bison against me was the Big Daddy Bison Dash.
I've now learned all of his moves in Street Fighter V because I think I played Bison for an hour prior to saying, "Hey, I'm really good at Bison now. Let me try playing you." And then you beat me to death.
Yeah, you played
with
you
Cody
practiced
and his damn EX rocks.
You practiced Bison for not long, and then thought you were hot shit, and then I put you back in your place.
Yeah,
with Cody and my EX rocks to finish.
Yep. Which were no fun, but luckily you have not again beaten me in Street Fighter V yet.
Let's put the asterisk is because I have not played him in Street Fighter V yet, and we'll get into why that is late in a few minutes. But I have not played him yet.
To put it in perspective for you, I've beaten Nate in Street Fighter IV, and Rick has beaten me about 8 times in Street Fighter V.
So. That was still my greatest achievement was training Devin for an hour and having him beat Nate, who had been playing for days.
Yeah, it was not a proud moment.
The 3-move Ryu.
The 3-move Ryu. Low, medium kick, uppercut, Hadouken. That's it. That's all you need to be a champion.
To be fair, I pretty much only played Dudley in USF4.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That was a horrible decision, I realized.
I told you that many a time, that it was a
horrible
decision.
But he's fun. I like charging at people, and I think that's pretty much the only reason I played him.
Charging is what you don't want to do with them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've tried to explain.
I recognize that.
I've tried to explain it many times.
Yeah, the whole point is to punish on their botches and their whiffs. But I wasn't very good at that.
No, you weren't.
No.
I think
let's move on. Let's stop talking about my poor plays.
After the cast tonight, I think we'll see if you've learned anything, because lobbies are working now.
Ooh,
pretty flawlessly.
I got some more homework tonight. I kind of want to keep my record intact.
According to Twitter, Devin, the lobbies are fixed. Not the intermittent fix thing they posted earlier. Apparently now it's solid.
Okay.
Is what
I'll believe it when I'm playing and we don't DC after 4 matches.
I'm right there with you, but as of what I've read, we're looking good, hopefully.
Now, Rick, you more of a hardcore player than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about it? Because as a casual player, I'm liking it a lot, and it's a game I want to learn about. I
really like it. I think the gameplay is fantastic compared to 4. I'm liking things are, for me at least, a lot easier to link. Like in 4, there was a lot of one-frame links that you had to learn to really master a character's combos, and one-frame links take hours in practice.
Explain one-frame links for a moment.
So, excuse me, combos in Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter in general, are difficult to get timing-wise for a new player a lot of times, because simply pressing two buttons in a sequence that would normally be a combo is not enough. The timing of the button press has to be fairly precise to actually get the combo. And getting the combo is important, because if you don't get the combo, your opponent has an opportunity to block you, which is bad. So combos are important because they allow you to do uninterrupted damage to your opponent. And in 5, hitting those combos, getting those links, as they're called, which is the sequence of move to move to move, is a lot easier. It's not a lot easier. It's still very precise, but you have it's not unfair. I feel that it's a lot of 4's links were unfairly difficult to actually pull off. Like they were hard. They were very hard. So I think 5 does a lot better job of not necessarily dumbing it down, but making it just a little bit easier. I hit combos much more consistently in 5 than I ever did in 4.
Yeah, which is nice because for me it was a turnoff because I was having trouble with my combos, and I have noticed when I was practicing earlier that it was a little better. Like,
yeah.
I didn't feel like I was having to spam the button a whole bunch of time and realize like it's just not working. I could kind of tell what my issue was, which was nice, and then learn from it. Whereas 4, I would keep trying to do this combo, and it would just never work for me because I was just off.
Off by, it could literally just be like a fraction of a second, and you wouldn't get the combo link, and it was so frustrating. So 5 does a lot better job with that, I feel. I think some people might be, like, players who are super, super good at Ultra 4 might be salty that now other people are getting to that point with less work, technically. But I think overall, for the game's health, it's a good change that they've made.
Is there any other changes they've made that you prefer over 4?
Well, the V skill system I like much more than the Ultra system that they used in 4, because I think it adds a lot more versatility to the game. So in 4, you had an Ultra meter that would build, and the Ultra was essentially just a move that you did. And if you caught the enemy with it, it would generally do a lot of damage, and it was how most fights were decided, was by if you got your Ultra off, the other player didn't, you were probably going to win that round. But in 5, they got rid of the Ultra system and did the V-trigger system. And V-triggers are different for every character. Some characters, the V-trigger is a move, but it's never like a cutscene, do a bunch of damage move.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Nash's V-trigger is a teleport that he does. It puts him, like, behind the enemy, and it's a really good combo starter or extender. It's
a really good, nice way to jump out of situations.
True, yeah, also it's an escape as well.
Because a lot of the times what it is it's nice, you'll hit them once or twice, and like you say, and then you'll see that they're going into their next move, and you just jump, do your V-trigger, and pop to the other side of them, and hit them with a Sonic Slash, and you've got a really solid base for damage there because they're not sure where you're going to be as soon as you land it. Because then you can back up, do your side swing, and you're out. You're disconnected from the enemy. They can't hit you again.
Right. So it's more. So that particular V trigger is all about utility and less about just purely doing damage. And then there's other V triggers that characters have where the V trigger is a state. Like, for example, Ryu activates his V trigger, and his hands get all lightning-y, and his projectiles do more damage. And things, and then that is a bar that ticks down. Or another example is Birdie. When he goes into V-Trigger, his movement speed is greatly increased along with his damage. So
he also turns red.
He also turns red, which is fun. That's always fun. And so it adds a lot of diversity to the characters. Like, in comparison, like, now that I've played both, the Ultra system doesn't even hold a candle to the V-trigger system. Like, the Ultra system, by comparison, is so dull, and it's just, it's a move that you can do, and and the Ultra system, in my mind, kind of limits the variables that can happen in a match, because once your Ultra bar is full, you're immediately thinking, okay, how can I land this Ultra combo so that I can finish him off and win the match? Whereas with V-triggers, it's like, how can I use this V-trigger to help me get to the end of the match and win, and not just let me do the V-trigger and win. It's let me do the V-trigger to help me get to the win.
What I also liked about the V-trigger is you have, like, your main move, but you also have, like, Ryu has his mode he goes into, but he also has, like, this parry that he gets.
Right, the V-skill.
Yeah, the V-skill. And so having just two different things that add utility is really nice. But then you have Armika's, my favorite character's V-skill, which does almost nothing.
I think Armika's V-skill guards you against one hit.
I don't know. I can throw my mic and it does a little damage. So I'm just not sure.
Right, so that's the other thing. The V-skills, again, it's something that's different for every character. It's a very easy to pull off move because it's just medium punch, medium kick together. And they have some really cool effects on the game. Like, in particular, Bison's V-skill is a reflect. So any projectile that is thrown at him, not only can he So if you tap his V skill, he will deflect the projectile. If you hold the V skill, he will grab that projectile, throw it back as his own, like, purple projectile thing that's very fast, does a lot of damage, and knocks down. Which is really neat.
Yeah, I just like how it changes, like, the Ultra is just a move, you said.
Right.
The V skill and trigger just changes because of their utility most of the time of how this character plays entirely compared to anyone else.
Right, yeah, and it's, what makes the V skills really cool, too, is I think they were kind of meant to replace focus attacks from 4. Which I think is great because I hated focus attacks. Focus attacks in 4, every character had one, and they all did the same thing. The character would charge up a move, and while they were charging up this move, they could take one hit and absorb it. And so it was used as kind of a combo extender, so they could keep their combos going. But it was very samey, and all the characters had one, and they all did the same thing, and they were all used for the same types of things. So again, it's just the game diversifying its roster, making the characters all feel very different. Like Ryu's V skill is a parry, Ken's V skill is like this running kick thing, which can be used as a combo extender. And again, yeah, Bison's is the reflect. So I don't know. It adds the V system, I think, is one of the best additions to Street Fighter that they could have done compared to 4.
Yeah.
I think it does exactly what it needs to do.
From a gameplay perspective, I'm loving Street Fighter V.
Yep.
And I think we're all kind of on the same page there.
Oh, for sure. The fighting is it's the best. It is the best.
Now, that being said, the game's got a lot of broken issues.
Right, yes. I love the game when it lets me love it.
Yeah. Online, until today, did not work very well.
Not even very well. Did not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even today, I would sit there and I'd be playing my game or whatever. I'd be trying to finish off my easy survivals so I could get all the different color 3s for all the heroes. And basically what would end up happening is that I'd get to level or stage 9 and I would be logged out and had to restart from the very beginning.
Right.
I had to play through 4 characters twice because of it.
That's rough.
Yeah, the servers have been up and down all day today, and the game released in a state where battle lobbies did not work, period. For the first 24 hours, very few people were able to get into online matches, and the ones that did had to wait 20-25 minutes to do so. So, just yesterday night, they took the servers down completely for about 3 hours and said they were putting out a patch. And that patch fixed, not for every single person, but for most people, that patch fixed casual and ranked matches, which is good. That patch did not fix battle lobbies, which still did not function. And now just today, this early afternoon, they put out a fix for battle lobbies, which did not completely fix them, but at least made them usable. Devin and I tried it out today, and every couple of rounds, we would get disconnected from the battle lobby and have to remake it. But it was working to an extent. It was limping.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was going. And so that's why I'm saying, since we've started the podcast, the server Twitter that I follow for the Street Fighter 5 servers has put out a tweet that says that things should be working, properly. They've patched they took down the match results. They weren't going to the server, so I guess they fixed that too. And something about replays. Pretty much everything wasn't working.
Yep.
It's a laundry list of things. Pretty much if it was related to online, it wasn't working, which really sucked because trying to get that fight money to save up for the new characters, you need to be online
in some way,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that. I do, but if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that your servers work.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I didn't expect them to be seamless day one, but I did expect to be able to play. What we got today, I expected yesterday.
Right, absolutely. It took
have some issues, but to still work. And yesterday didn't work at all.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty much completely broken. Today we were able to play to an extent.
Yeah.
And it's looking like by tomorrow things should be completely ironed out, which is still, quite frankly, unacceptable.
Yeah, and this is going to tie into another part, but when I was watching Total Biscuit's port report, this had been made aware to me that like PlayStation-related controllers and fight sticks were not supported out of the gate. Like if you have I know our buddy Izzy, his fight stick wasn't working because it was a PlayStation 3 fight stick.
So all those people that ordered the PS4 PC fight sticks, those like TES Plus ones?
Yeah, I don't know entirely, but I do, like, if all of them are having issues, the newer ones might work because they're for the new game.
Right.
But they've been having a lot of issues, and they said out of the gate that all fight sticks would work.
Yeah, that sucks. So I remember that was a big deal when they came out and said, like, yeah, PS3 360 fight sticks are all going to work, plug in, play with Street Fighter V. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't actually work.
Yeah, people are having a lot of issues with their fight sticks and PlayStation-related stuff. But Xbox, no problems, even though it's not on the Xbox system whatsoever.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird issue.
And so, but then on top of that, so back to like online now, working out of the gate, there's like a story mode, which is really just 3 AI fights and some poorly put together little cutscenes.
Right, so let's jump then from online issues into missing features.
Yes, and there's...
So I'll run through the list real quick. As of right now, there is no challenge mode. There is no story mode. There is no 8-player endless lobbies. And I think those are the big things that we're missing. Oh, there's no store. There's no store for characters or skins. Most of those things are coming in March. Like, we're getting 8-player lobbies in March. We're getting challenge mode in March. The store is going live in March with some skins and things like that. And I assume with the new character, Alex, the first DLC character. But we're not getting a story mode until June.
Yep. And this ties into the online not working because it's pretty apparent this game was pushed early. It should be coming out in March, but they wanted it out for, what was the tournament?
So the Capcom Pro Tour is like Capcom's trying to take an interest in their esports scene, and I'm not super familiar with the fighting game community, but it seems like for 5, Capcom is taking a much more engaged role in their esports. And so they wanted this game out for some kind of tournament series if they're doing. So they pushed the game out in February pretty much as bare bones as it can get.
Yep. It plays, but it doesn't have all of the content that it should have.
You can definitely tell it was pushed out early, too, because some of the stuff is coming out in March.
Yep.
Like, why not just wait till March? It's because they had to have it out for their tournament stuff. So it's annoying. That stuff isn't, I guess, a gigantic deal because we are getting it in March. But the no story mode thing until June, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and it's really bad.
They're pimping it up like it's this huge, big deal. They're calling it a fully cinematic story. But, like, Mortal Kombat's been doing fully cinematic stories since Mortal Kombat, I don't even know, back on, like, the Xbox. The original Xbox. Like,
it's a fighting game, so a story, it's not really something that's you expect to be this awesome written thing.
It probably still won't be, even though it isn't coming out till June.
That's why they're making it a big spectacle, but it's probably not going to be that awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They're trying to tide us over until it actually comes out by giving us I don't want to say illusion, but that's what it kind of is. An amazing story mode, which in reality, more than likely, when it comes out, is going to be somewhat lackluster.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
The missing content kind of ties into the botched online, where it shouldn't be out already, but it is.
Yep.
I mean, online probably, if they waited till March, it probably still would have problems.
I don't think it would be nearly this bad, though.
Yeah. So, I enjoy the game, but really the game doesn't come out for a month, which is very disappointing.
Yes, we're essentially playing another beta that we get to keep forever.
Yeah, essentially the beta with all characters, whereas the last beta, I don't believe, included the last 3.
I think once this next patch comes out and we have the store, we have challenge mode, we have, all that stuff that we were missing, the game will probably feel fine to me because I could really care less about the story mode.
Yeah.
Honestly. But as of right now, it doesn't feel complete at all.
No.
And I would be a lot less salty if it came out and the online worked and I could play with my friends and play online, but I couldn't even do that, and I didn't have anything like, challenge mode or anything like that. Yeah.
If the game came out just without the story, I don't think it would have been an issue because you're not expecting much out of the story, but you're expecting everything else that it isn't in there right now.
You're expecting the rest of the Street Fighter experience of being able to play with your friends and have that arcade feel.
Yes.
That's
now that said, though, they were very upfront about what the game would and would not include on launch. We knew there'd be no story mode. We knew that the challenge mode wouldn't be there. That said, 8-player endless lobbies was something I did not know until I had the game, and maybe I wasn't looking in the right places. I don't know if was that common knowledge to you guys.
No,
I had not heard anything about
that was something that to me seemed a little bit swept under the rug. Like, so you guys gotta wait on story mode, you gotta wait on challenge mode. Oh yeah, no 8-player lobbies till March. Like that was, I don't think that was up front. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right places, but to me it didn't seem up front. And I think that was intentional because 8-player endless lobbies are kind of a big deal. Like, that's kind of a basic feature of Street Fighter, is that revolving lobby with your friends that you can just fight and watch your friends fight and things. That was a staple in 4.
Yeah. We have like a group of 5 friends, and until that comes out, we really can't play together the way we want to.
Right. We have to have different lobbies going, and then we can't watch each other play, so... Now... Yeah. I think it'll depend. My level of salt about that will depend on when in March the update comes out. Because if it's like March 31st, I'm going to be a little bit pissed.
Yeah.
But if it's like early to mid-March, okay, fine.
I prefer early March over anything else.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, March 1st would be ideal. But
basically February.
March 1st at 12:01 in the morning.
Please, Capcom.
I mean... If anything, I'd like to talk about some of the software and hardware issues that I've noticed through playing and attempting to play the game.
Yes, go into those a little bit.
So, as you know, Rick, and you helped me solve by basically going into the game files and deleting stuff, my game did not work for the first day. I could not get it to work at all. I had to go into the game files and change the opening movie, which I then attempted to watch on my own. Like in VLC player, just so I could, get the full experience. I had to delete it or rename the file so it wouldn't be recognized by the game. I watched it and it just crashed. I couldn't even watch the video itself. It was broken.
Yeah, I still don't know what caused that. I saw other people with that issue, obviously, because I found the webpage that fixed it. But I still I have no clue why that happens to some people.
The other main issue is that I would, as I said earlier, my game crashes a lot, and I've had to redo the survival mode multiple times for some characters.
Yep.
And that really sucks, because after I've played, 10 fights consecutively, it's like, well, it's not that big of a resource hog, because I monitored the RAM after it crashed, 3 or 4 times, and it never goes above a gig. It never uses more.
So that you were getting full crashes, not just server DCs.
No, I got those too. But mine also would just at the end of or in the middle of round 9, it would just go click, close the window, done.
Yeah, that is strange. I remember we tried to fix that one, right now Street Fighter is having some very odd interactions with certain computer components. I read that certain art tablets just cause Street Fighter to crash constantly for some reason.
Yes.
And also any touchscreen drivers. So if you're using a laptop that has a touchscreen on it, your game's gonna crash over and over again, essentially.
And I have neither of those things, which is even more fun.
Yeah. Yours. I haven't figured out a solution to that one.
I'm sure it's just my computer being my computer. The other main pet peeve that I have is the frame lock. You are either locked at 60 FPS or at 30 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do anything above 30, it automatically locks you at 60.
It's
Right.
a fighting game, though. So.
But no, and like I recognize that. But here's the thing: it's not like a frame lock in the normal sense. It just slows your game down. You render every single frame, no matter how slow your game runs.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that happening. That's pretty unacceptable. Like,
because like I can recognize, you want, like, part of it is a hardware thing where you're trying to force the 60 frames so that most computers, are staying at that rate. But the main issue is that for those of us who can't run high at 60 frames, and we can't run low at 60, but we can run low and still get more than 30, like, it's annoying. I can barely play the game at medium because of how slow it is.
yeah, that should have been an option. Like, what 4 did, which I think was a better system, was they had a benchmark system. And you ran a benchmark, and it gave you a letter grade. And that you could set your matches so that you only played against players. You could set it so you didn't play against players who were, lagging all over the place. But this doesn't give you an option, is my issue. Like, if you wanna include, a clause in the games or what have you, where it says, if you don't comply with this stability or this frame lock thing, you can't play ranked. That's a way of saying, like, if your computer can't handle this, you shouldn't be playing ranked because it's a bad experience for other players. I would understand that. But to make it the entire game, that's needlessly alienating. If somebody wants to buy the game for their laptop and play it at 30 FPS, they should be allowed to do so without, any trouble.
It's kind of rough also because you don't know until you buy the game.
Right.
How bad you're going to be cucked.
Yep.
So, because you might think you can run at 60 and then find out this game's not going to do it for you. So now you got to deal with all this crap.
Yeah, I mean, the game is not necessarily overly demanding, but I think it is a bit demanding considering what they want it to be, which is obviously an esport. An esport game has to have, a lot of options for graphics, especially a PC esport type game.
Yeah.
And they don't offer that. But they're still enforcing this rule of, like, you have to be at 60 FPS, but they're not giving the option to bring you down to 60 FPS. Nate, just out of curiosity, have you tried low spec mode?
Yeah.
You still get slowdown?
Same issue. It's
And you have a dedicated card, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah. I got
What is it?
750 Ti. I mean, it's a mobile card, and
It's a mobile 750 Ti, not a desktop 750
no,
Ti.
but at the same time, I could run Ultra Street Fighter 4 at 60 on high.
Right.
I mean,
Ultra Street Fighter 4 did come out in 2009. Well, Street Fighter 4 came out in 2009.
but the graphics are comparable. I feel like I mean, when I did run it when I ran it at high, and I had the slowdown because, I mean, it's still playable technically, not really. I saw the graphics, and I feel like they were more posturized in 4. Like, it's kind of a more, I feel, Borderlands-esque theme of
They're
drawing.
a little cel-shaded, kind of.
Yeah, that's it. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But I feel like the graphics are pretty similar. I don't personally see that. Like, I see a difference. It is definitely there, but I don't think it's right that my computer can barely run it at low. Or
I
barely
agree.
run it at medium.
I disagree/agree with you. I disagree. I think the game does look much, much better than 4 ever did. I'm playing it on high, and it looks, the character models look worlds better than 4 did on even its highest settings. 4 had some very odd post processing effects added to it that I really hated. Like 4 had, like I turned them off. Like I think 4 actually looks pretty bad for character models. 5 looks fantastic, but I don't, and that's good. I'm glad it looks fantastic, but I think they need to allow the option to make it look a lot less fantastic to allow other players to play the game.
Oh, low looks horrible. It's
and you still can't, so is it an optimization issue, or is it they're not offering enough graphics options?
Low, I think I'm playing at 60. I got 60 on low, but there's no anti-aliasing. There's barely any what's the word for it? Where they make curves from the pixelated lines.
That tessellation.
That is practically non-existent. Which it is a subsect of anti-aliasing, but we can cover that another time. But it's mainly the edginess of the character models that I notice on low. Like the interior graphics and the coloring of the characters themselves look fine, more or less. But where you see the edges, they don't look as smooth. They're all very hard, and it's kind of a hard thing to look at from a low end perspective.
Okay, so maybe it is then an optimization issue instead of necessarily a not offering enough options issue.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be part of it, but at the same time, like I would like to be able to choose my form of anti-aliasing and tessellation. Like if I could use FXAA, I think I'd be a lot better off.
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, in general, not enough options. Considering it's an esport, something that wants to reach such a huge number of players needs to offer an equally large number of graphics options. Like League of Legends, you can run that thing on anything, essentially.
On a potato.
Yep.
You know,
same with Dota. My friend barely has room to run Word. He can run Dota 2.
I like to think of it, when I think of an esport, I think you have to make a comparison to a real sport, you know? Like, what do you need to play basketball? You need a basketball, and that's pretty much it. Play baseball, you need, it's very simple stuff to play. Very popular sports don't need a lot of things to get involved in them. And
except friendship.
Except friendship. That can be a difficult thing to come by. But besides that, as far as esports go, it needs to be the same type of deal. Anybody needs to pick up this game and be able to play it on what they have for a minimal amount of money. Otherwise, it's not going to reach the audience it needs to reach.
Which are the cheap bastards such as myself.
Yes, the cheap bastards such as yourself.
We are not a rare breed anymore. We're everywhere. We're always watching. Always looking up for those new games.
Yeah.
Always hoarding their money into a mattress.
And not spending it on a decent fucking graphics card.
Hey, I think I linked you the new laptop I'm looking at. I'm probably going to pick it up sometime in the next couple months.
I don't think you did. You should link it to me, though. Okay. Anyways.
I will do that eventually.
All right, I think that kind of...
So, yeah, Street Fighter V. Once the server issue... I will adore this game at some point in March.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, I really, really like it. But there's a lot of issues keeping me from being fully on board with it. Once March hits and I have 8-player lobby, I have hopefully the first DLC character, I have some cool skins, challenge mode, I'm going to be a very happy camper. Right now, kind of feels like I bought half a game.
Yep. I feel the same way.
I recommend buying the game in March after that patch comes out, as long as things are all squared away.
Yep. If you're interested and you haven't bought it yet, just keep your eye out for when that time comes.
Yep. So yeah, I think that is Street Fighter. Yep. Street Fighter 5 first impressions.
Now, we did go a little long on that, so you still want to do a little Rust talk?
We'll do a little Rust. I don't think there's really a whole lot to say about it.
Okay.
We can jump through it real quick. So
just kind of what we've been playing.
Yeah, this is an extension of what we've been playing because pretty much our entire last weekend was dominated by the PC game Rust, which is a survival game where you play on a server with multiple other people, and you have to survive. You have to build a base. You have to find blueprints to build more stuff like guns and new types of walls and stuff. And then after that, your objective is just to kill everyone and take all their stuff.
I won't lie to you, Rick. You're a pal.
Yep.
You're a good friend.
Yep.
My weekend's a blur.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where it went.
It was there and it was gone. I don't even remember. I would wake up in the morning, I sat down, and then it was nighttime and I was going to bed.
We were almost zombies playing Rust.
Yeah, so we got out of that. Luckily, Street Fighter V broke my Rust spell, because there was a point back when Rust was even earlier in alpha than it is right now, back in 2013. I was only taking 2 classes at the time, community college, and I was only working 25-ish hours a week. Mm-hmm. And for that entire semester, I think it was like January to May, I went to work, came home, did my bare minimum amount of homework, and then I would play Rust. I did that for an entire semester.
Yeah.
I think we probably stopped playing in about mid-April, actually, at least when the vast majority of the crew kind of fell off. Because I know I started playing DayZ in early May.
What a mistake.
What a mistake on your part there.
You know, Arma 2 DayZ, really, really fun. I got to be a pretty good shot with it. I would just kill people.
Standalone DayZ.
Crap.
Yeah.
That's a topic.
Had high hopes for that game.
Topic for another time, because it
True.
hurts my heart. I don't want to talk about standalone DayZ.
True.
Yeah. Now, real quick though, we should talk about kind of how DayZ has evolved since Rust has evolved.
Sorry,
since it originally came out. Because now it's like an alpha again, but it's new form.
Yeah, it's a whole new game essentially. I played what is now called Legacy Rust, which was by comparison a pretty trash game. A lot of hackers, a lot of issues with that. Very simplified blueprint formats. The new Rust is much more complex, much better about catching hackers, from what I can tell.
I don't think I've seen a single one, to be honest.
No, I didn't. I've seen on my old server, I saw hackers getting banned, but I never saw them myself. But on the server that we all played on, I never even saw any hackers.
I never even heard about one on there besides the one that people were blaming. But at the same time, I don't actually think he was hacking. I think he was just that good.
I think he was just good at the game. I don't think he was hacking. But anyways, a lot less hackers in the new version. A lot more complex building systems and things like that. Like, it's essentially Legacy Rust, but better in every way. And all of that said, I don't recommend you ever play it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You should never, we're talking about it, do not look it up on Steam, don't buy it if it's on sale, don't play it, because
don't lose your life.
Don't lose your life. If it hadn't been for Street Fighter V coming out, I would be playing Rust right now. The podcast would have ended. We would have.
Yeah, we ended up abandoning a base we spent an entire day on.
I think we made Little C pretty salty about that too.
Yeah, we did.
But had Street Fighter not come out, we had plans to keep going.
Yep. Thank God for Street Fighter.
Scary.
Thank God for Street Fighter. I don't even know what happened that weekend.
Yeah. I know at some point I went to work, and that's the only time that I'm like, I know this happened. Everything else, couldn't tell you what day we did most of our things
it's
on.
Just a blur of Rust. Blur of Rust. The game, that's the thing. The game is very addicting because it perfectly combines like that just 5 more minutes type of gameplay where it's like, I almost have enough materials to do this. I almost have enough materials to do that. And at the same time, when you first get into Rust, you're going to get killed a lot. People are going to come in, they're going to take all your goodies, and then you're going to be mad. And when you get mad, you want revenge. And then you start over again, and you try even harder so you can screw over the guys who screwed you over. And then it becomes a never-ending cycle of screwing everybody over, and before you know it, months have gone by.
And then, to help your revenge, a friend comes in, pretends to blend in with the Nazi you want to kill, and warns you. Yep, and then warns you that the Nazis are actually about to attack your base, and then your buddy has to pull a last Mohicans, try to fend them off.
That was a good text. That was a good message. So
boy.
I guess important to note, you build this base, and a big part of Rust is raiding other people's on the server's bases, and which can happen at any time because when you log out of the server, your body is still there. You go to sleep.
Yeah, the server continues all night long,
and
whether you're there or not.
So you'll be getting frantic texts from your friends saying, "Get on Rust, we're getting raided. You got to hop on, defend your base." And in a lot of ways, it's really fun, but it's such a time sink, and it's so hard to get anywhere in the game.
Yeah,
really, to get a foothold in the game is a very difficult thing to do.
Because I think after our 4 days of solid play, I don't think we had the rocket launcher.
No, we
didn't. We had rockets. We didn't have rocket launcher.
We had like a single rocket.
Yeah.
We didn't even have enough C4 to start blowing into bases.
Yeah, we were a consistent 4-man team, and we, after playing for an entire weekend, literally probably 14 or 15 hours a day, we had yet to perform a successful raid on a major base.
And we thought we were hot stuff early on until we realized every day we woke up and our base had been raided and we had to move on, that we weren't as hot as we thought we were.
I think every day we had a new base.
The issue is we quit when we were getting hot.
Yeah. Now, that being said, it's extremely fun and addicting, but I guess it does require a social element. Like, if you're solo, it's not going to be what we had.
No, it's not.
Entirely. You're going to have to make friends, because at a certain point, you need to be in a group.
Yeah.
You can't play the entire game solo. You're going to get raided.
And for some people, that's a really difficult thing to bridge.
And a Nazi's going to rape your body.
I know when I bought the game the day it came out, without realizing that I'd bought it the day it came out. I downloaded it, hopped on, got killed at least 20 times, and then finally, at the point I was about to quit, I know I found someone, and he was like, "Hey, dude, do you need some help?" And being that I was expecting to play this game mostly solo, I was like, and then that's actually what mainly convinced me that the game was a little more fun. And then later on, I started playing with Rick and Big J, and that made the game even more fun. Once you get that social element down of the game, you're going to have 1,000 times more fun than you would be playing solo.
Yep.
Yeah, the social element's a big part, because there's something about having a group. There's also something about going out into the world and being very scared that someone's going to come up and maybe kill you.
Right.
Like, you find someone, you guys are just stand out. You're just like, oh wow, what do we do? Does one of us want to attack? You have to communicate with them, say, hey, I'm not looking for trouble. Let's just go our separate ways and hope that he doesn't shoot you in the back once you go past him. So it's a very social game, but it's an experience that you don't get out of a lot of games.
Yeah, no, Rust is one of a kind. I mean, there's other survival games that try and do stuff like that, but I think Rust definitively does it the best. You have games like DayZ. I don't think did it nearly as well as Rust did.
There's next to no social element in DayZ, I feel.
Exact, yeah. Ark kind of did its own thing with dinosaurs and shit. I don't know. I never played Ark, but Rust does it in such a way it's very compelling.
Back to DayZ, and with that social element, I just want to clarify what I was saying there. With DayZ, the thing is you could meet someone when you're in a trader or whatever, and that's not in stock DayZ, but in a modified version of it. You can be leaving the trader, and when you're in the trader, you are 100% social. There is a social aspect to it. You can be like, "Hey, dude, how's your day going?" But the moment you leave that, you two are mortal enemies. He will kill you, no matter how nice you were to him. He wants your gear. And
I think the same could be said of Rust.
Well, but I feel like in Rust, you don't always kill people. I can say that.
I think that depends on the person. Yeah, but you should have killed that one guy.
Should have killed that
the
one
only
guy.
time you needed to kill someone.
We wanted you to kill that one guy.
I'm normally a very forgiving person in games, and they don't appreciate that aspect of me.
Oh my!
They think it's weak.
Had him dead to rights. We could have gotten an airdrop, and you didn't fucking kill him.
But what's strange is you'll kill us.
I will kill you guys at the drop of a pin.
But you meet someone at a very important airdrop and hey, you take everything.
You can have it. You can have it. It's fine. I don't really want it.
Jesus.
God damn it, Nate. So yeah, that's Rust. Don't play it.
Also, it's an alpha. It is a little buggy. It's much better than it used to be in terms of bugs. But I mean, bears sometimes phase through mountains.
Or through your base.
They do. The bears are a real issue right now.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's not as bad as it used to be.
No, not at all. So that is Rust.
What consumed our entire fucking weekend.
Let it never consume again.
I deleted local content. It's gone.
Really?
Oh,
Did
really?
you
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going back.
Oh, that's rough. Okay.
I'm not going back, boys. I can't. I'm taking too many credit hours to go back.
I'm waiting to get on to finally see when our base has been attacked, but I don't think anyone cares.
No, we've lasted a couple days. I think our base is just annoying enough to not raid.
So, all right. And then let's finish this cast off with a reminder.
Yep. Quick reminder.
For the book club.
Book club. Super Metroid is the game. And was it next week or the week after?
I believe it's next week.
Next week, we're going to be talking about Super Metroid and what we thought of it. This is a good one for me because my game of the year for 2015 was a Metroidvania game, Ori and the Blind Forest. And so far, I'm really enjoying Super Metroid.
I just bought it today, actually.
Oh, good deal.
On the Wii U Virtual Console.
It's
$7.99.
Good stuff. Good price, considering the SNES cart is about $60.
Yep. I'm excited to play it, and we will go into a full discussion next week.
Yep. Also want to put out there real quick, this Friday, there will be a special episode of the Voidcast, starring only myself. We're calling it Rick's Fireside Chat. And this week, I'm going over The Darkest Dungeon. It's a game I've put about 60 hours into so far. I'm loving it, but it's a very difficult game. So I'm going to be going over how to get started, how to get a good foothold, so you're not constantly restarting your estate like I was.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one.
I can already tell. It's got something.
It's got a fresh intro. It's got a fresh new intro that I've been working on. It's going to be pretty good. Listen to the intro very closely if you're tuning in. Just a tip. That's it. That's the cast, I think.
One last piece.
Yep.
During the cast, just like Nate, I got an email
Oh.
that my copy of Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition has shipped.
Perfect.
Nice.
I'm gonna get my butt ready to get blasted by lots of Fire Emblem.
I'm so tempted to buy that. I really am.
I'm not going to help you say no, Rick. I'm going to play it and be like, Rick, you got to buy this.
I have a $25 Amazon gift card, and the question is, do I want to spend the extra $10 to get the game? Because you get that dank Prime discount.
Oh, yeah.
On the game. Will I get the discount after the game comes out, or is that only if I pre-order?
It's up to 2 weeks after.
Oh, I got some time to decide.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but if you're going to do it, you're going to want to do it before next week when I talk about the game.
True. I'll think about that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. Nate, thanks for being on.
Yeah, Nate, thanks for joining us.
I was
Wasn't
happy to be here.
nearly as god-awful as I thought it would be.
You told me at the beginning I wasn't allowed to talk about Dota 2, and that's what made it easier. Is that
Yeah,
it
it made
didn't
it a lot
actually
easier.
bring it up.
Made it much easier on us.
I'll be honest, it had like a
Yes.
little thing written on the side that at the very end I was going to talk really fast and get my Dota 2 news out so you could cut it. I'm happy I didn't do that.
I'm happy you didn't do that,
because
too.
I know it would have pissed you off.
I'm happy
And you would have just
fucking do that.
bleeped all of my additions to this episode.
Well, no.
I wouldn't have
Rick
even
would have
put
literally
your audio
deleted
track
the
in.
file, and we had to start over from the beginning.
I would
without
have
you.
deleted your audio track.
I see.
And just
case in point.
put it up without you. Yeah.
That would have been weird.
Which would have been hilarious to listen to, though. Everyone who listens to it would have just been like, wait, why are there all these points of silence and people are either telling or just saying they're idiots or not? Like, I don't understand. And then they would realize there was a third.
There was a third person. But
Nate the Kid.
Nasty Nate the Kid.
That's quite the title you've got yourself there.
Okay with it, as long.
For next time, Nasty Nate will have a better mic. And he won't be using T-shirts of pop filter anymore.
Hey, you know what? My pop filter is amazing. I've been watching the audio quality as I go through, and I see that there are less pops in it than there were when I didn't have my makeshift pop filter on it. So
Here's the thing,
Suck it.
Nate. There's a little something about pride here of
Yeah.
just having an actual podcast.
We're a high class podcast, all right. We don't do this ghetto shit.
We have 4 followers.
We have 4 followers. Granted, one of them is you, and one of them I'm pretty sure
pretty
is
sure
Mike.
it's Mike.
Yeah,
But you know what?
Definitely.
It's okay.
The other two are real, though.
We think,
Willie is out there.
He's out there, and hopefully he's listening, Willie. But this just reminded me of one last important thing, boys.
What's that?
We have a Twitter account now.
Oh, right. We have some real dank tweets up.
Yes, we do. One of my tweets was liked by the voice actress of Armika.
That's big.
Yeah,
That's big stuff.
I already felt like a god.
Yeah.
But now I really feel like a god.
So you can follow us at VE_Voidcast. And there you will find, you'll get notified whenever a new podcast, YouTube video, or whatever goes up. And you'll also have a critical insight into the latest hashtags, such as "Give It To Me, Mr. Nintendo."
Yep, hashtag give it to me, Mr. Nintendo, something I came up with. We'll take the credit for that.
You also might get a sneak peek of the fireside chat on Twitter if you follow us. You will. I'll put it up. Don't worry.
So you guys are doing favors already.
And it'll be a good time. So follow
We'll
us.
also help keep you updated on the latest Griffin's Amiibo Corner.
That's true. We're going to retweet pretty much everything related to Griffin's Amiibo Corner because we love Griffin's Amiibo Corner.
Yep.
So
Episode 4, personal favorite.
Yeah. That is one brave boy, is all I can say.
Griffin's Goofers.
Maybe we can send Griffin an email and ask him if we can license his soundbite where he goes, "Goofer." Because I want that.
You could have him as a special guest someday.
I don't think
Griffin wants to be on our podcast.
He only needs like a 2-minute piece. Like he just
as much of a treat it would be to have him. I don't think he's interested in a podcast with 4 SoundCloud followers and an average of probably less than 30 views.
But we'll make it our goal to become big enough so that we can have.
That's true.
Griffin.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Or be on his podcast.
That is the dream.
Well, boys, it was a good one.
Yeah, episode 6 in the books. Wrap it up, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great week, everybody. Now I'm gonna go kill Nate the Kid.
As will I.